Welcome to the DJ Insider Podcast, sponsored by Amplified Events.
It's the only podcast where we break down insider information from our weddings, experience, and advice from over 15 years in the wedding industry.
We're your hosts. I'm Mike Kane, owner of Amplified Events.
And I'm Joe Albomonte, the general manager of Amplified Events.
Let's get into it. We're back in the studio, and
Yes.
I was off this weekend, but took
How
my
was
kids. It was great. It was nice having a weekend off. Took my kids trick-or-treating, got caught up on house cleaning and sleep, which was wonderful.
That sounds excellent.
Yeah, the kids.
You've done a lot of events. You said 60 plus. This is like yourself.
I should look it up. It's quite a few.
Yeah.
Last year I did 65. I think I might have broken that this year.
That's quite a bit. I'm glad you had the weekend off.
So yeah, but you did work, and you and Jeff
Yeah.
had one.
Yes, we did.
Tell me a little bit about that one.
It was good. Yeah, I was at Sand Creek. It was nice. Lacey, Jeff's wife, was in the bridal party. So we had a familiar friend there as a nice buffer. But the bride actually stood up in their wedding too. So
Cool.
kind of a small world, but it was nice to be there. Super low key, just chill couple, chill families. Just
Nice.
wasn't a rager, but it wasn't
like
a boring
dead
outdoor
either,
thing.
yeah.
It wasn't dead. People were out there. But yeah, it was solid.
What was one of the songs of the night? Biggest songs?
Oh boy. Honestly, like Uptown Girl, like crushed it.
Nice.
Like
Billy Joel.
girls just want to have fun. Like we definitely stayed in that era for
Okay.
quite some time.
Kind of 80s pop.
Yeah, 80s pop, light rock, and it was nice. It was pretty chill. And then we kind of switched over a little bit to like early 2000s, like Backstreet Boys, NSYNC, Britney Spears, some stuff like that, but nothing too crazy.
Cool.
Yeah. I did a September or a wannabe edit. It was one that I hadn't heard before. It was one that was in our library. But I was like, okay, it's around the same BPM. Let's see it. Like, let's just see what this remix entails.
Mm-hmm.
And there was definitely a little too much oomph in that remix, maybe for that dance floor. But other than that, it was fun. It was a good time.
Yeah, remixes, edits, mashups, they for weddings, they can go really well or disastrous.
Yeah.
Like you don't get kind of that middle ground.
Yeah.
Because, I always look for, there's of course a million remixes everywhere. Like you can find a dubstep version of September. I'm sure you could.
Absolutely.
But the question is, will you be able to use it again and again at the wedding?
Correct.
And the kind of things that you look for in a remix or something, like to me, it's got to be danceable. It's got to be true to the original song that people are expecting to hear.
Yeah.
And it's got to ideally take it to another level.
Mm-hmm.
Like either it's been redrummed with a very popular drum beat that somebody knows, or there's an edit that just, it adds energy and people respond well to it. I've seen so many, I'm like, they're going to love this inside club hit,
Yeah.
They don't.
The redrums, I think, are fantastic. I think a lot of the redrums that we have, they definitely stay true to the song, and it really just it just adds an extra layer to it. But the one that I used, and similar to what you were saying, there was a huge EDM buildup, like way too long, and we just needed it to drop. My dance floor was looking at me like, where are we? But it was fun. It was a good time. Jeff got to go out there. I got to see them do the cha-cha a little bit.
Shake a leg.
Shake a little leg.
Cha-cha real smooth?
Real smooth.
I always laugh when people don't know how to do the Charlie Brown.
I know. It's like the one move out of the 12 that he says that they never explain. You never figure it out. You just got to do it.
Last wedding I did, somebody was like, you cha-cha funny or something. And I was just like, there's always cha-cha haters.
Always cha-cha haters. And cha-cha is a spirit of mind. When you really shimmy and you got to do the thing, I mean, that's a state of mind. That's a completely different. I always like to do that cha-cha now, y'all. I always like to bring in Fireball after.
Yes.
So you get the beginning of that every time they say that and kind of fade it in. And then always before he starts talking the second time, DJ Casper, of course, my man, before he starts talking the second time, I always cut out. I can't do that song that long. It's just annoying.
That's one of the ones that I'll do the edit for. It's been redrummed, so it's a little thicker. They cut out all that nonsense. This is something they cut out all the dumb stuff. All the him talking.
We're gonna keep this groove
right now. Yeah. Wait, they get rid of that. and it's shortened, so it's a lot shorter.
Yeah.
It's not, and there's a super short version too. But I just use the short one unless I'm like I just want to get a little quick hit of this and get out. But normally the shortened's nice.
Yeah.
I think the original song is like 6.5 minutes, shortened is like 4.5, and the really short and super short is like 2.5, something like that. Okay. Anyway,
not bad.
What I'll do is I'll drop YMCA, but that's also been redrummed. And so when he'll just start going clap, 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 and they go da da da,
really
and they're
nice.
clapping to YMCA.
I'll have to look at that for sure.
So I like doing those, or I'll do. Of course, I love it. Iconopop.
I always do Fireball into I Love It.
Yes,
It's always the three. It's like Cha Cha, Fireball, I Love It, and they just hit.
It hits.
It hits so hard.
It hits
every
hard.
time.
What's the song that you wish you could play more, but like you just can't? You just can't.
Honestly, the one I did at the Walden, I got a couple like EDM songs that are so dancey that all I want to do is mix them again. Mix them like in between Fireball and Iconopop. They are right in between the same BPM, but it really will take the right couple. Like or somebody recommending, can we get like some house music? I got you. I got you for one song, 4 songs at max, but I do love a good house music. If it's like bassy and there's not like a crazy build-up, that's because there's some really boring EDM out there too.
Yeah.
Some really boring EDM, but I'll even show you later. But like Endor, for example, I think is an artist that just crushes it. Like just at a wedding, I think they're a perfect vibe. They're very dancey. Mm-hmm. When I did the wedding at the Walden a couple weeks ago, they came in to, I forget what it was, but it was like an EDM type pop song. Mm-hmm. And then they did a Champagne Tower. But for the Champagne Tower, they gave me a couple EDM songs, and we mixed those coming in to the dance floor or like coming into dinner. So before dinner even started, we had a huge dance floor after the Champagne Tower, and like everybody was going crazy because we just had it just creates such a good vibe. Just people can feel like the bass and the energy, and it's a really good time, and I wish we could do something like that again. But like I said, it takes the right couple, someone that really wants some EDM.
Yeah.
If you don't want it at your wedding, absolutely not. Like that is, there's things that I want to hear like the absolute least.
Sure.
And there are some classy weddings where it's like, oh, absolutely not. Like EDM would never touch the speakers here. It's just wouldn't happen. Like we're doing all classical cocktail, like all instrumental dinner, and I don't know. There's definitely some fun ones, and there's some more.
I love weddings when they're like, we love 80s, we love funk, we love groove, and I'm like, yes, please. Like we love disco. I'm like, okay, yeah. We're gonna go. I love stuff like that. I wish I could play that more. I don't really love today's hits. You know, I know them and I'm aware of them, and it's fine. It's fine. But I'm like, I just think they just did it right. 70s, 80s music. You've got a ton of classic rock stuff that's in there. That's like, pretty good. And then of course, a ton of just pop music that people love.
Pop to disco.
There's just so many hits back to back that mix really well. A lot of like really good music. Because it's just about the time when everything's going electronic, and so there's a lot of cool sound, but also like just really danceable stuff that people really. I talk about it before in the podcast where they struggled to write the song, and so the lyrics mean something, the song means something. Somebody spent time on it. It wasn't just let's go in the studio and pop out another top seller.
Yeah, 40 times a year.
They're not just trying to produce. The goal was, of course, you want to produce a hit, but that wasn't the main goal.
Yeah.
But anyway,
absolutely, and I think that a lot of that music also ties in really well to early 2000s, because we're going from disco into an era of pop that's very funky. I mean, like Britney Spears and like Backstreet Boys, like early 2000s, like there's definitely some really strong elements from like 70s disco that get brought into that. So just being able to go from genre to genre, I think it's really hard to go from like 2000s to like espresso.
Yeah.
It is a jarring, just different sound. And I think from like 70s to 2000s, it works really well. But like you really have to go like current music and then like older music. I find it hard to blend both together if it's like a lot of Chapel and a lot of Sabrina Carpenter, just because their sounds are so unique and different, as opposed to back in the day. I feel like a lot of disco sounds kind of similar,
Of course,
but like
of course.
it's so good
Yeah.
because it's so danceable.
Yes. Well, and it's so like ingrained. People have so many positive memories with it in their culture. And so, I mean, they play friggin', Staying Alive at basketball games,
True.
To get the crowd revved up. So it's,
They love
of course it's going to hit
True.
at weddings. Weddings is time when you don't want to hear new music. You want to hear stuff you're familiar and comfortable with.
Yeah.
Ideally in a new way.
Yes.
And that's where the edits, redrums, remixes, mashups, all that comes in. Because you're presenting familiar stuff in a new way with maybe a familiar beat, but not the beat that I heard before. And then that they perk up, but they can still have fun. It's still accessible to them. And that's also what we're doing when we're mixing the music, where they've heard these songs, but not in this order. And
Not in this order.
not at this exact moment that
Yes.
that I read that room and was like, oh, they want to hear this one.
Exactly. How have your slow songs been this year? Have you been playing a lot of slow songs? I feel like a lot of my weddings, we have stuck to like one or two only.
It's been one or two, not very many. I'll always do more if I need to.
Yeah.
Or if I just feels like that kind of thing. And that's what people are dancing to. I've had a few weddings this year where I did 5 or 6, but again, it was kind of needed.
For sure.
A lot of slow country. But yeah, for the most part, 1 or 2, nothing crazy. I don't mind. I'm not threatened by a slow song. Like, I don't feel like it's something that I know probably there's a lot of DJs who are like, oh, well, I never slow it down. I don't do any slow. I'm like,
Why?
why not? If people are still out there swaying, they're enjoying what you're doing and they're feeling, romantic and having a moment with, why not? Why is that a problem? That's still full floor.
Exactly. And there are times where it's like the wrong option, of course.
Yeah. Well, again, it's the wrong option if nobody goes out there.
If nobody goes out there.
Or it just kills the floor, kills the energy that you had a full floor.
Yeah, or
and then you slowed it down and everybody left.
It took you an hour to build this dance floor. You finally got some people on there. They're meshing with whatever era you're on right now. And now you're just going to kill it. You're just going to kill it with a slow song. Yeah. And then you want to rebuild it if it's a crowd that is taking a long time to get out there and fill up the floor, you can't keep killing it like that. Yeah. But also, if everybody's just going to dance to slow stuff, just keep playing slow stuff. It's that right in between of like, do I keep playing slow stuff or what do they like here?
I love to just hit them and never let up.
I do too.
And I love when you can tell, I think it was like 2013, I was DJing with this guy, Alex. He was leading and I was assisting. We were at some country club in Illinois. And it was one of those weddings where just, from song 1, we had him, we were just boom, 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 boom. And, 2 hours in, we see him kind of like, what's going on with our floor?
Disperse.
And I ask Al, he's like, we just danced them to death.
They're tired.
They're exhausted.
We killed them. That's really satisfying. Because also I find at those weddings, if it's like a 4-hour dance floor, we're going from 7 to 11. We have a hard 2 hours. They'll disperse for a bit. They'll go outside. They'll go grab a drink, grab a snack. Around 10 o'clock, those people will come back and rally, and you will have a power hour from 10 to 11, finish out the night. But with couples or with a lot of just weddings that I find like that, it's like a hard 2 hours. People need to take a little breather, and then they come back hard, and it's a great last hour.
Yeah.
But that's really satisfying.
I love that so much when you can get a little bit of everything in there, take control, and then just like, oh my gosh.
Yeah. You have one this weekend?
I've got one this Friday. It should be interesting. Lure on the Lake.
Nice.
And my assistant is she's new to DJing, but not new to weddings. It's Mason.
Oh my gosh!
From Raycroft Recordings. So.
Very nice. She was at the wedding with me and Jeff.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, she was filming us.
Oh, fantastic.
Yes, it's good to see her.
Cool.
Well, that's cool. We talked. She said that she's interested in leading down the line, but just wants to assist, get a feel for it.
Yeah, see if it's for her. I think she'd be good at it. So
I think so too. She knows the industry. So.
Yeah, knows the people. So if she's in for it, awesome. She's not, no worries.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll be doing one of those on Friday. I think I'm off on Saturday.
Nice.
Yeah, just it's kind of the slowing down kind of the season, but gearing up for holiday parties, gearing up for the holidays.
Yeah, I think that was my last lead for a wedding. I've got a tasting, I've got a couple assists, and then a karaoke thing, but I don't think I have any weddings left. I'll have to look. I'm not sure.
Yeah, it's just literally after October, it stays that way till, I don't know, April.
That's okay. I've got a Friday, Saturday, Sunday, though.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
That's right, with that tasting.
Mm-hmm.
So where are you going to be?
With Jeff on Friday and Saturday. I can't remember where.
Oh, okay. I think he's at Walden, one of them.
Yes, Walden for one, and
I'll have to look it up.
somewhere local for I forget, but I'm assisting, so I'm not sure. But we'll do that, and then Journeyman Valpo tasting on Sunday.
Do you like assisting now that you've been doing leading, or do you not like? You still?
I mean, if I'm not leading, yeah, I'd like to go assist. Sure. But there are also some days where it's like, I'd like a nice Saturday back. But also, it's like I like to make money, so why would I not go? And
it's too
assisting's too good. It's easy. I mean, you go, you set up, you mix a little bit, and then you tear down, and you get to hang out with another cool DJ. And
hopefully,
right?
It sucks when they're real lame.
Luckily, we don't have any of that.
I don't know what that's like.
I don't know what that's like.
That would suck.
But yeah, it's always a good time, and it just to not have the stress of being a lead, and to go to a wedding, and to be able to still work and kind of take it in. It's different. I like it.
Yeah.
How about you? Do you like to assist?
I kind of do. It's nice to like not have to worry about like, oh, what song or what, how do I pronounce the name or but to still know that like, oh, I totally know what to do. That was really fun when I would go assist Joe Christian and with Eric Yeager, because it's their wedding, but you know what to do for the most part, and then they have their way of doing it, and so you're just really curious about their way of doing it because there's going to be similarities, there's going to be differences, and that's where you really learn
for sure,
and make each other better and ask questions, and they ask it's really cool. You learn a lot by watching someone else do their thing of something that you know exactly how to do it. I do the same thing, so it's kind of fun.
Have you done that recently?
I helped out with Eric this summer. Joe and I haven't coordinated schedules yet, but I would love to do it again. Nice. Same with have him back too to one of mine. So
and we get our booths from Joe.
No, different Joe.
Different Joe.
That's Joe Bond.
Got it.
Joe Christian is owner of Arrested Sounds. It is hard to like give up the board, when you like know the best song and stuff.
It absolutely is.
I love DJing when I'm lead and I have a lead assisting me because I can be like, do the board thing. Just I know that they've got it. Yeah, I don't have to worry. It's tough for some assistants. They don't always mix or don't know how to necessarily EQ the mic, and so that can be like stressful to like have to cover that.
I think that's more stressful than just working alone. Like, I like going, just doing the thing, and like having to also sometimes look over an assistant that isn't knowledgeable on it, or just you have to like redo their setup because it's or just like some things like that. It's like, I could have done this faster. I've already done.
And you know how you want it done.
I didn't need this today.
I'm so particular about my tape and my cables.
Yeah.
Also, like where I put my lights. Like all that kind of thing. It's so silly, but it
is. And I'm often alone, so it's like I'm very particular. I'm gonna move my stuff around.
Yeah. And I like setting up my laptop. It's like there's certain things I want to set up to make sure it was done the right way, and that I. But for the most part, I'm fine with other people doing the setup.
It's most of the time 99% the same. It's just like some small little things. But yeah, the photo booth thing, that was the only thing that really went wrong the other day.
Yeah, the cable, the pin in it's broken or something. So there's always something, right? Yeah. Luckily, we have backups, and you guys probably got that sorted pretty quickly.
Yeah, a 20-minute drive back to storage.
People use it?
Oh, yeah.
Could have been.
Oh, yeah. It was good. They had a nice backdrop with like a nice white curtain with like a neon sign with their last names on it. It was really cute.
Oh, nice. People are doing that more and more, the custom neon signs.
I really like it.
It's kind of cool because then you own it. You have it for like your garage or whatever.
Yeah. And I don't have to set up a backdrop.
I love that.
I love it.
That aspect is fantastic. What I always see, though, is people, they'll get one that's like white light or something. It's really hard to see on camera.
Yeah.
If it's like real, especially if it's real bright, because the camera is just, the light is going right into, and it's hard to see, and you have to turn down your exposure.
Yeah.
I'm not a camera guy.
I'm not very much a camera guy either.
I know that you close the aperture and open it to let more light in or whatever, but that's all I know. And then there's a genie or a wizard inside that
got the genie
that makes the camera work. That's how I know.
Yeah,
that's what I know about.
He works
cameras.
his little magic, and it just happens.
There's like little hamsters in it.
He's writing to the card, scribbling as fast as their little paws can scurry.
Oh my gosh!
What are you most excited for throughout the rest of the year, going into the next season?
Next season, I'd love to add. We'll definitely get Dave up going full time.
Yeah, nice.
Upgrade his setup, and then ideally get some more DJs in here and continue to kind of grow.
Cool.
Get things moving. I'd love to add DMX lighting. So lighting that we can basically control via they have these little boards now where you just press a button, it'll change the color or change the mode of what the light's doing or the direction, the movement of the, there's lots of different, you can pre-program all that. So you just come in, plug in your lights, plug in your thing, and they're all little wireless. So it's little
oh, that's nice.
almost like a USB stick, but it's a DMX.
That's really cool.
And it's just beep, beep. And so you can get, I would get movers then because I don't want to, if not before you'd have to run cabling.
Yeah.
So, but I'd probably get movers for my setup, and then probably some nice wash lights, or what the real popular now are those light poles, like
seen those.
Yeah.
I don't know where I stand on those. I think they look kind of tacky, especially because I've seen a wedding where I saw I went to a wedding where he had 12 of those light poles, just 4 on his table, 4 in front of his table, and they take up space, and they have legs on them, and people were kicking them and stepping all over them, and I don't know. I think they look kind of tacky. I think they put some good light out, but personally, I think the poles are just they don't do enough they don't do more than the dance floor light than we have that I would even consider to be worth the hassle. And maybe they're easy to set up because it's just a stick and some legs, but ultimately the dance floor light we have puts out more light, in my opinion.
Yeah, I don't know. I like the way some of the setups look with them. Other ones, I think it's kind of overkill or it looks weird.
Yeah.
You definitely need some height variation. You shouldn't have just 8 all the same height.
That's what it was.
I don't think that looks great. I
all
think you could go down
5-foot poles.
Because the last thing you want, at least for me, I don't want my setup to be distracting. I want it to look beautiful and kind of be but then for you to immediately kind of ignore it and let it blend it into the environment.
Yeah.
For it not to be just huge and bulky and I just hate the look of trussing.
I do too.
Just really big, heavy, expensive equipment. I'm against it.
Me too.
If you can do heavy, expensive equipment, you can do it quickly. And
if you have a van
all on you.
Absolutely. Go ahead.
That's just not me.
No.
What about you? What are you excited about this year?
Honestly, just now that I'm full time, just really full sending on it. I want to do 50 events, and that's the goal.
Yeah, so working, lots of weddings, lots of gigs.
Yeah, that's really it.
Yeah, I don't have too much. Kind of a slow week. I didn't prep too much for this because I wasn't expecting it, but I'm glad to get together with you, see how it went.
Yeah.
Not a super exciting one, but
yeah, sorry about that, guys.
That's fine. We appreciate you guys listening. I'm Mike.
I'm Joe.
And we'll see you at your wedding.